Welcome to Richie's Comic Book Cabana. With the forthcoming free comic book day on Saturday, May 7th, 2011, I decided to check in on my old local shop. And before we get into the meat of this video, I just wanted to do a couple little pan around shots and show everybody what the store's about before. As you can see, they carry everything from retro to modern comics. They have a nice variety of action figures, sports cards, statues, and much more comic book related items. All said and done, stick around. Here's a nice little interview I have done with a very old friend of mine. Hope you enjoy. Alright guys, today with the forthcoming free comic book day, I got pretty nostalgic, and today I decided to go back to my old school comic book shop here with my buddy Eric, and I'm here at Richie's Comic Cabana in Waterbury, Connecticut. See what's up, and I've been coming to this shop, geez now, probably 1987 around there.
Yeah, before you had facial hair, yeah.
I probably wouldn't be in the shot right now back then, but I've known Eric for well over 2 decades now, and sadly Richie could not make it today, who was the owner of the shop, but he's also a longtime friend. So I wanted to just kind of touch base here with Eric, and hopefully Eric can give you guys a heads up on what the shop is, what it has to offer, and the current state of the comic book industry.
Sure. So we got Free Comic Book Day coming up May 7th. We have books given to us by Marvel and DC and other companies to give away that day to everyone who comes in, just to show that comic shops are still around, that comic books are still probably the cheapest form of entertainment out there. And Free Comic Day is just to show everyone, hey, comic book shops are still around and worth the visit. Pop on down. We'll have a couple artists here as well. And so come down, meet and greet, and it'll be a great day.
You definitely have to support your shops, because in this day and age, the mom and pop shops, you got to say they're not as frequent as they used to be.
Yeah, Waterbury one time had like 4 stores that I know of, and we're the only one left in Waterbury. There is one. It wasn't Waterbury. It moved about 10 miles away to Middlebury, so technically it's still Waterbury. But yeah, it's a tough business to be in, but if you do it right, get the right customer clientele, you can make a go of it, and that's what Richie's been able to do since 1988. And even before then, when he worked for Jim's Comics out of Milford and Waterbury, and those was some very long time ago for him.
Yes.
He's been in the industry almost half his life, basically, and it can be a tough industry depending on the economy. But right now, the economy's starting to peak up a little bit. Of course, gas prices aren't helping at all.
Definitely not.
Definitely not. We're all hoping that they start coming, but it ebbs and flows, and always has. So, but hopefully we can, Free Comic Day gets more people in to realize that stores are still around. Every once in a while I get someone, I never knew there was comic stores still around. So that's
they're still here, and I know a lot of things have moved into the internet and whatnot, but these, like I said, these local shops on Free Comic Book Day, you definitely got to go out and support these guys. Not only does Richie's here actually deal with comics, they also deal with action figures, sports cards, and various other entertainment memorabilia.
Yeah, we do everything. We got sports cards, we got statues, action figures, T-shirts, posters, prints, calendars. It's amazing what's available out there. Especially with with the movies that have come out over the last 10 years. It's definitely helped with the merchandising, because people are now familiar with the characters. And that has helped. I mean, it doesn't last long, but each movie that has come out based on superheroes has definitely helped make people realize it. And again, it's another good reason why Free Comic Day always is associated with a superhero movie. This year, it's going to be associated with the Thor movie that comes out on Friday, which looks really awesome, and I'm looking forward to it.
I was going to actually ask you, what's your opinions on what you see of it so far?
So far, I like. I mean, yes, I know we've tweaked it a little bit for the Hollywood people, and the quote dummies who don't know who Thor is. Which I always love, but it looks awesome. I think the actor who plays Thor got it right. And any movie that's got Anthony Hopkins playing Odin, how can you go wrong with it?
I'm definitely interested by the previews I've seen, but like you said, they're going to tweak the story a little bit, but you got it. You got to.
And it helps people realize that this character is still around. We got tons probably a bad word to use, but we have plenty of Thor issues to sell you if you're interested in stopping down, find out who the character is. And this whole summer, and certainly after that, you're gonna have the Green Lantern movie, which, with Ryan Reynolds, which looks awesome. I just hope that Ryan Reynolds isn't too much of a, hope it's not a Van Wilder as Green Lantern impression. And then Captain America,
Yep.
and then the X-Men First Class comes out. So it's gonna be a very eventful superhero movie summer, which it's coinciding with Free Comic Book Day. Hopefully brings in a lot of people, and it makes people realize that, hey, maybe a trip to the comic store is on their list of things to do. While the comic prices average about $2.99 a piece, I always talk about go small, budget. Come in $10-$20. You walk out with 5 or 6 books at that, for the $20, and you could, it's an afternoon of entertainment.
And you have as on a collecting side, you have not something to file away and hold on to that could potentially be worth some extra dollars down the road.
Yeah, there's always, I always say that's the added bonus. If somewhere along the line where you get, a book that turns out to be worth some bucks, great. If not, hey, it's, you put them in your closet or in a box in the side of your, in your room somewhere, and 6 months from now, geez, I haven't read that story in a while. I want to reread it again. That's what the fun of it is. Which, like I said, it's definitely a cheap form of entertainment.
Well, it's like in this day and age, we have a lot of digital entertainment coming our way, especially in the comic industry. I, for one, prefer to, excuse me there. I prefer one to have an actual physical copy in my hand, way I can read it as well. I'm not knocking the digital aspect of entertainment these days at all, mind you, but definitely would like to hear Eric's opinion.
Digital, I think, still is a very interesting way of showing people what's out there, but I've always felt, again, like Ed just said, having it in your hand, there is nothing better sometimes, especially if you're a comic collector, big-time comic collector, of grabbing an old issue of the X-Men's from the 70s or 80s, and just opening it up and just the smell of the old comic. Old paper may not be the greatest smell, but sometimes it can be an something interesting to see and sense. But imagine holding an Amazing Spider-Man #1 in your hand as compared to reading it on your iPhone or iPad. It's a totally different experience. And well, for some, hey, that's what they want to do it. Then that's what the industry is hoping that they continue. But we're all hoping that the true comic collectors who want to have the actual item in their hand, continues to come to shops and visit shops and conventions, and there's all kinds of stuff out there convention-wise. Matter of fact, Boston's was just yesterday, and there's one in New Haven today. So digital, I think, has its place, but I pray that it does not replace everything. I don't think it ever will, but
well, it's like normally I do video game shows on this channel, but it's just it's almost the same aspect as going to your local arcade. The arcades pretty much are done, but your local comic book shops are not. They're still around, and definitely you got to head out there and support them.
Yeah, it's a great way to meet people too. I have met many people who I'm friends with, such as Ed, and I've met his I know his dad, and I know his brother, and through the years of them coming down to the store, and it's it's a very cool experience. It's almost like a ritual kind of thing. People come down and they'll spend 45 minutes to an hour. They'll buy the books, and then they'll shoot shoot the bull with you about what's going on in their life, and just it's a very cool experience.
For many, I have to say this, for many years, I actually considered Eric my personal quote unquote bartender, because on Wednesday I'd come in here and that was the shipment of the new issues of that week, and come in, we'd have an hour, 2-hour conversation half the time.
Oh, it's many conversations.
Yeah, it's interesting to see from from throughout the years how we've separately grown in our lives, and just it's just that connection you feel, and that's one of the main aspects of your local mom and pop shops. It's not a big budget thing. It's not a digital thing. You come in and you have a great experience.
Truly, and that's what I've always enjoyed about doing this, and the people you meet, and experiences, and just to actually hold pieces of history in your hand too. When you actually hold a book that's probably older than your parents, and you're looking at going, this book was printed, during World War II or during the Korean War, and this one was printed the year I was born. I always try to have collected books from the year and date of my birth, because I would think that's an awesome thing that these books were printed on, or the time period that I was born. So everybody has different things, and that's
we'll keep your age a secret.
Yeah, exactly. Reagan was president.
I failed to ask you earlier, but besides, to those who cannot come to Richie's Comic Cabana locally, where else can we find you?
We're on the web, www.richies-comic-cabana.com. There's also the Facebook page under the name Comic Cabana. Search on it, add as a friend, we'll add you to it. I usually try to put as much info about the store on that, as well as the webpage as well. Facebook, we've been with the Free Comic Book Day putting stuff up every day about it, reminding people, sending out messages, letting them know about sales and stuff that we do and other events that happen out here. And our next project is to rearrange the store so that we can start having Magic tournaments done, which is something we've talked about for years, and realized that probably it's something that needs to be done. So Magic, which is Magic the Gathering, which is another form of the comic industry, card and comic industry. And we're going to try to hopefully help have tournaments down here. We'll just keep checking the webpage and the Facebook page, and we'll keep updating everything on there. And the eBay too. I forgot. Richie's going to be mad at me. Sorry, man. I forgot about eBay. Richie's has a eBay page. eBay page name is Cabana Man. CABANAMAN. Cabana Man. Anything that's listed on Cabana Man is here in the store. So if you live in the area and don't want to pay the shipping, stop on down and we can pick it up here. So.
And for everyone who's not local, all the links to the website, the links to the eBay store, the links to the Facebook page. If you're watching this on YouTube, I'll leave it in the description box. If not, wait to the very end, and I'll have in a text form and sliding through the video. On a side note, I just wanted to ask Eric a couple other questions. And we had this conversation prior to filming, and after the conversation was done, I was kind of like, "Oh, I wish I filmed it." But we were talking about the nice memories of his favorite run, which was the Uncanny
Oh
X-Men.
yeah, the Uncanny X-Men, the John Byrne, Chris Claremont run, basically also known as the Phoenix Saga,
Yes.
Dark Phoenix Saga. It really got me into comics, and I just and really started my interest in it and collecting, because I had to collect all the old issues as well. So, but that is definitely John Byrne is definitely one of my favorite artists, as well as Claremont, one of my favorite writers, and it's probably my favorite run of all time.
All right, so if anybody's interested, like I said, come on down to Richie's Comic Cabana in Waterbury, Connecticut. If not, the links to the website, the eBay store, and the Facebook page will be provided to you. Thanks for watching, and thanks for the conversation, Eric.
You got it, man. Hopefully we'll see you all down here for Free Comic Book Day from 11 to 5. We're even talking, we might even be earlier, so keep checking the Facebook page. We may decide to open up early. So we'll have plenty of books, plenty of things happening down here. Store, basically everything and anything in the store will be available for sale. So hopefully we'll see as many of you there as can make it.
Thanks a lot, guys, and thanks for watching.